Falling in love and getting your heart broken, one of the most painful experiences of anyone's life. But imagine falling for someone who's actually trying to scam you. Well, that's actually happened to me once, and I will share my story with you in just a moment. In this video, I'm going to expose the 7 up-and-coming new online dating scams, how you can spot them, and how you can avoid them or get out of them as efficiently as possible. According to the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission in the US, over 73,000 people have lost more than $1.5 billion to romance scams in 2022. Based on my research, here are the top 7 scams. And some of these really surprised me because I've actually never heard of them before until I looked into it. So a lot of really cute Instagram girls, they don't have the strongest passwords. And a lot of people don't have two-factor authentication. So what's been happening is these hot girls with insecure passwords, their accounts are getting hacked. The hacker goes through her friends list and even her followers and messages and DMs every one of them. About a year ago, I got one of these DMs from one of my friends, okay? And it asked me, hey, can you go to this GoFundMe page? I'm having some trouble and donate, okay? And I went to this page, but the page looks suspiciously like low information. So I asked my friend, hey, what's really going on with you? And they were just like, just please donate. And the whole thing looked suspicious. It was weird. I wasn't suspicious of my friend. I was just like, this is not something I can donate to, or this is not a project that I can support. And then what happened was they DM'd me a few days later and they were like, hey, can you please back me on this project? And by the way, here's my blockchain address. Okay. I just found the whole thing really, really weird. So something clicked.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
And it just like, I recognized that this is maybe not my friend. Okay, and until then, it was massive trust. And then they said, remember that time we talked about X and what you were doing this? And then no reply, okay? That's how I knew their account was hacked. So the psychology behind this manipulation is the loyalty and the trust that you have built through years of friendship. And they're manipulating that to get you to invest in something, to go to a GoFundMe page, or to give them crypto. I mean, it is your friend after all. That's what you're thinking, right? So the key here is, hey, what's my real name? Hey, do you remember the time we did this when you said this, right? It could be even fake. Hey, remember the time we talked about avocados? She's like, yeah, I do. And you're like, no, we never talked about that, right? So you want to figure out a way to verify if this is your real friend. Online romance scam number 2 are AI girls. Most of them are labeled as fictional, okay? But a lot of them use existing videos and technology to overlay the face onto something that looks like this. And the first time I saw this profile, something about it didn't seem right, and I just wanted to go in and research. And what I found was they were photoshopping faces of AI-generated girls that were perfect in terms of facial symmetry, and then putting it on like bodies of other influencers, you know, adult film stars. Now, some of these profiles haven't started asking straight up for money yet, but what they're doing is, hey, go to my Patreon, go to my OnlyFans. And I think this is like the future of romance scams. Now look, if they say they're an AI girl and they're like, I got AI girl pictures on my OnlyFans and everything was out in the open and you still wanted to buy her OnlyFans, that's your call. What I'm afraid of is they're gonna create these perfect girls and they're gonna lure simpy guys to donate money to them or give them money when they think it's a real person. And I think this technology will exponentially improve. So be on the watch out for AI characters trying to get your money. Ever since the internet was invented, really, this is the classic dating catfish. I had a date recently, I won't name who. I showed up at our location, meeting location, and I literally could not find him. I was like, what is going on? And I called her. This girl picks up and she turns around. I'm like, oh, you're the girl with the profile. And I didn't say anything, but in my mind, I'm thinking, wow, she looks completely different than her pictures. I literally could not recognize that person, okay? I got catfished, all right? I admit I fell for the scam. And this is not a scam for money, but I feel like it's a scam for your time. There's a fine line between, you know, polishing up your pictures and literally like editing it to a point where this is not representative of how you look. In Chinese, it's called 照片. Certain words sound the same but mean different. So 照片 actually means to take a photo, but to take a lie, right? A photo that's a lie, 照片. And in English, it's called catfishing. Okay, so be on the lookout for catfishes. Now, the psychology behind the catfish is the idea that I can make myself much better than I actually am. Or sometimes they feel like they're pretending to be someone else even. And there's a little bit of that dopamine hit, that validation, like, oh, I am this hot girl or the hot guy. The problem with this is that when you meet the person, it's usually disappointing, right? Obviously, I didn't call her back for a second date. I felt a little bit lied to. She didn't look like her pictures. You'll notice a pattern with all scams is like eventually it might feel good in the moment, but long term, there's always like a fallout. The person gets angry, you don't get what you want, and it just sucks for everybody. Scam number 5 is more of like a hack, right? But these are makeup hacks. Now, I've been watching videos like this. I don't know why Asian girls are so good at makeup, but they just are. Now, the question is, at what point is makeup considered straight up lying? Right? It's like, is this the girl that I'm dating or what? Are these pictures real on Instagram? In the States, I used to advise like my clients, like wait till she wakes up in the morning before you decide to get into a relationship. Because yeah, you just don't know. I mean, there's some of these girls have such great makeup skills. Now look, is this a scam? I wouldn't call it a straight up scam, but I would say definitely like build up the smoke and mirror, right? And the psychology behind it is there's this illusion of how I am, who I am. But in fact, this is how I am. So it's a little bit of a classic bait and switch, in my opinion. As a girl, right? You got the high heels to make yourself look taller. You got the makeup skills to make yourself look more beautiful. You got perfume to make yourself smell better. You have plastic surgery to make your face cute. Yes, all those things can be done. They're part of the game, right? There's no referee here in this game of dating. Guys can do it too. Guys wear platform heels. Guys can put makeup on. Guys can get plastic surgery, right? But at what point is too much too much? Don't get into a relationship until you see her without her makeup on. Number 6 scam is the Christian Grey scam, aka the sugar daddy, sugar mommy scam. So oftentimes through Instagram or other social media, a scammer will basically hit you up, sometimes even on dating apps. They'll try to get you off the app as soon as possible to WhatsApp or another messaging service. And then what they'll offer is, hey, I'm gonna give you X amount of money because I think you're cute. Is that okay with you? And then some people will be like, yeah, that's okay with me. And then what they do is, oh, I'm sorry, I sent you $2,000. I meant to send you $1,000. Would you be okay refunding me $300? So the Tinder swindler, what he did was he faked this lifestyle. He pretended to write them checks. He asked for a portion of the money back, okay? Now the psychology here is pre-selection. I have this lifestyle, my Instagram looks amazing. Hey, yeah, I would like to date you. I want you to be my sugar baby, or I love you. I'm gonna give you some money. And then you're like, oh my God, you're so generous. You're so hot. You've got all the social proof. And then you're like, hey, I'm sorry, I wired you the wrong amount. Would you be okay sending me back like 30% of it? The guy's like, yeah, I'll send you back the money. And while you're waiting for their transfer gets canceled and you realize you've just been scammed and you're giving money to this other person. The 7th type of online romance scam is the investment cryptocurrency scam. And you're like, hey, let's go on a date. And they're like, hey, by the way, have you heard of this crypto thing? There are a lot of variations of these scams. You have the military variation. Oh, he's part of the military. He's got his uniform on. And it's also a great excuse. Oh, I'm traveling. I've been stationed here. You know, that's why I can't meet you. Another variation is I'm taking care of my kids because my wife left, right? It's like, oh my God, he's such a good husband. They're hitting that emotion of like sympathy. Could you maybe send me some money so I can buy groceries this week? Okay, it's kind of like emotional blackmail. It's always in the future. They never want to meet you. They never have time for you, even though they keep talking to you. The other variation of this is kind of the EDM DJ or the celebrity scam. I'm traveling. I got this show going on. Yeah, it's not really convenient to jump on a call. Busy businessman, the multinational businessman. You know, I got, a station here in this country. I got to go to this third world country. They don't have a good internet service. They asked you to move off the app or the website very, very quickly without any investment. Hey, let's talk on WhatsApp. Hey, you're so beautiful. Let's talk on WhatsApp. They'll give you this weird compliment and then they'll ask you to get off the app right away. To be fair, I ask girls if we can talk off the app as well, right? I'm trying to become a real person in her mind, not just another Tinder swipe. But before that happens, there's a back and forth, right? I know a little bit about them. Another red flag to watch out for is just overly complimenting, right? We call this love bombing. Oh my God, you're so my type. You're so beautiful. And then it's like they compliment you and then it's like, hey, let's talk off the app. And you're just like, you don't even know me yet. What's going on? If you ask them for an Instagram, if you ask them for a call or a video call, they will always have some excuse not to do it. Now, the way they ask for money is like very, very clever. Sometimes they'll ask for a small amount. Hey, could you just send me $2? I just want to make sure that Western Union is working. Or like, hey, I just want to make sure my Venmo is working. Could you send me $1? And what this does is it creates psychologically this idea that it's okay to give them money, however much amount, right? And now they have your financial information. Sometimes they ask for a wire. Now they have your bank account information. Do not exchange any financial information with anybody on online dating. People will send you money. And this is a classic bait and switch. They send you money, they show you the wire. Your bank account might even show wire incoming. And then they cancel the wire while they ask you, hey, I accidentally sent you too much. Could you send me some back? Another very common red flag is, hey, I want to send you a gift, okay? I have a gift coming to you, but it's held up in customs. And I don't have the currency to pay the custom fees to get the goods released. There's a special secret gift just for you. Do not fall for this. What you can say instead is, do you have the tracking number? And a simple Google search will tell you whether they're full of shit or not. Another really insidious scam is really good looking, high value guy. And then the girl sends him, he asks for news and she sends it to him. And basically what he does is he blackmails her. Hey, I have your news, I have your videos. And he's like, if you don't want me to leak these nudes of you, send me money. And with guys too, except with pics, it's like, you don't know whose it is, right? But for women, it's like socially, it's much more embarrassing for them. Always meet in a public place, just in case for the first time. Public place, just to see if they're crazy, see if they look like their pictures, see if you get along. And be especially careful in certain countries. There's a list of the US travel agency gives, and you can check out which countries you want to watch out for and which tier they're at. Now, let's say you're actually stuck in this. Somehow you fell in love or you just kind of got wrapped in a moment and now you're like part of this process. And there's certain techniques, psychological techniques that they use to emotionally blackmail you. They'll get upset. They'll say, you don't love me. This was all fake. And they'll threaten to stop the relationship, right? And at that point, you've invested a little bit. You're kind of like the person. You're like, maybe I should send them some money. Oh, you're not the person I thought you were. My dog just died. I guess you don't love me, okay? They will emotionally blackmail you to sending them money or making you feel bad. Sometimes they'll even get angry. Oh my God, I can't believe you're like this. What is wrong with you? And they get really angry. Just emotionally, it doesn't match up to like the event that's happening. You will realize that they always have an excuse for everything. Why they can't travel, why they can't get on video call, why they need more money. There's always a story. And some of the stories get really, really elaborate. The Tinder swindler, he has a story where his bodyguard gets beat up. He sends this picture of them in the hospital, right? And he's like, I'm in the hospital right now. Oh my God. Some people want me dead and I don't have access to my bank accounts. Can you send me some money? And because he's established all the social proof, there's almost no reason for the girl to think that maybe he's scamming them. Don't let the fear of rejection or the fear of loneliness compromise your own security and your own finances. Here is a picture of AI girl that I was suspicious of. And what I did was I went on TinEye and I inputted the picture, and here's what I found. Okay, so what happened was someone photoshopped the AI's face onto a face of an adult film star. Watch how someone that you love treats you when you deny them something, okay? And that's how you know if you're compatible or not. And you're not denying them something, you're just letting them know this is outside of the boundary of what I'm comfortable with. And it's perfectly okay to say that. If you're ever not sure, right, you don't trust your own emotions or you've been single for too long, think about asking a friend or a family member to get a second opinion. And I know it can be embarrassing, but at least they care about you. And you may get a third perspective. Now look, maybe they have some information on you. Maybe they have your financial information. Maybe they have your naked pictures. What they're gonna do with it, they're gonna do with it, okay? Cut off communication, change bank accounts if you have to. And look, even if you give them money and they promise you, I deleted these pictures. 6 months later, they're gonna come back. Hey, I still have these pictures. Now you owe me this much. You can keep a track of all the conversations. You can file a report with the FTC as well as the FBI. You can report them on Tinder, their profiles, on the dating apps. But the best thing to do really is just to cut off all contact. Most scammers don't take the time to develop good game. They're not putting in the effort. They're scammers. They're looking for a shortcut. They're looking for the people that are most vulnerable, people that are most lonely, people that want to believe something. They're just so eager to believe the story because they need to believe it. So if you find yourself like, this is too good to be true, or hey, there's something fishy about this, stop, ask them to get on a video call, make sure they're real, make sure their intentions are good. Don't be afraid to go on to the next. If you want to develop your dating skills, so you actually attract people that like you, women that chase you, check out the links to some of the free resources in the description below. Okay, if you are scammed, don't feel bad about it. Even me, dating coach, has been catfished. I have been financially, someone tried to scam me. Okay, it happens to the best of us. Do not feel ashamed. Best thing you can do is do something about it, prevent it. Just getting awareness around this is probably the best thing we can do.